the heart of Texas, LifeTalk. Here's your host, Mark Crutcher.
I'm joined by Cherie Johnson, Johnny Hunter, and Troy Newman. Of course, Father Frank Pavone and Janet Morano will be along later with the Gospel of Life segment. But right now, we're going to Alan Ackles and this month's LifeTalk News. Alan?
All right, thank you, Mark. In Missouri, several members of a Lexington family have been arrested following allegations that they imprisoned and raped 6 children over a period of many years. It is also alleged that the men forced some of the children to engage in sexual acts with animals. Charges were filed after one of the victims, now 26, came forward claiming that she had become pregnant by one of the men and was forced to have an abortion at the age of 11. In a similar story, a 36-year-old Boston man has been convicted for an ongoing sexual relationship involving a minor child. During his trial, it was revealed that Richard Saunders impregnated his victim at the age of 14 and took her for an abortion in order to conceal the illegal affair. The girl testified that after the abortion, the relationship became abusive, and that at the age of 16, she became pregnant by him again. Also in Boston, a local CBS radio affiliate has refused to air an ad exposing abortion funding in the Obama health care bill. Claiming the ads were inaccurate, radio station WBZ refused to sell Massachusetts Citizens for Life the airtime and also refused to put their reasons in writing. Massachusetts Citizens for Life claims the ads have aired on other stations without any problems, are asking pro-lifers to contact WBZ News Radio 1030 in protest. Well, left-wing billionaire and well-known atheist George Soros has reportedly been pouring vast sums of money into liberal Catholic groups that he considers key players in the health care and immigration debates. Frank Walker of the conservative website PewSitter labels Soros's efforts a religious and political Trojan horse designed to downplay the importance of the abortion issue to Catholics and even make abortion rights a respectable Catholic position. One of the liberal Catholic organizations accepting the money is called Catholics in Alliance for the Common Good, which has to date received about $200,000. Well, the trend of abortion clinic closing seems to be gaining momentum. In Pensacola, Florida, an infamous abortion clinic that was the site of over 2 decades of pro-life protests has officially closed. During a routine inspection of the Community Health Care Center, formerly known as the Ladies Center, authorities discovered that the death camp had been operating illegally for 413 days and levied the mandated fine of $1,000 per day. Clinic owners were unable to pay the fine and were forced to cease operations. The facility had been bombed in 1984 and was the site of where Paul Hill shot and killed an abortionist and security guard in 1995. The closing came during a peaceful pro-life prayer event affiliated with 40 Days for Life. In similar good news, Planned Parenthood of Montana is closing its Kalispell facility. Citing the current economic downturn, Planned Parenthood said that the clinic saw its last patient at the end of November. The nation's top abortion profiteer, which currently gets approximately $1 million a day in taxpayer funds, also claimed the reason for the closing was due in part to a reduction from individual donations. Meanwhile, local pro-lifers praised the news, calling it an answer to prayer. And in Michigan, abortionist Alberto Hodari is selling off all his death camps following a lawsuit which accuses him of performing a forced abortion. The suit obtained by LifeTalk News alleges that the victim, Caitlin Bruce, went to Hodari's clinic, Woman Care of Flint, seeking an abortion, but once there, it changed her mind. Bruce alleges that clinic staff then restrained her against her will and covered her mouth to muffle her pleas while Hodari performed the abortion. LifeTalk News has previously reported on the conduct of Hodari, which ranges from causing the deaths of abortion patients to the illegal dumping of aborted babies. Well, the ongoing problem of pro-choice violence continued this month. In Pennsylvania, police say that Jonathan Stock, 28, threw his girlfriend Tammy Smith to the ground, grabbed her hair, shoved a .380 caliber pistol into her mouth, and then threatened to kill her after she refused his demand to have an abortion. Stock has now been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. A 31-year-old Tennessee man has been convicted in the first-degree murder of police officer Mark Vance. Officer Vance had responded to a call at the home of Nicholas Johnson, who was enraged at his 17-year-old girlfriend's refusal to get an abortion. When Officer Vance arrived on the scene, Johnson shot him in the head at point-blank range. Meanwhile, a 21-year-old Arizona State football player, Terrell Carr, was arrested after police were called to a disturbance on campus where Carr was demanding that his girlfriend get an abortion. Carr's girlfriend, who is 3 months pregnant, told police that he came to her room to inquire about her doctor appointment and then demanded she get an abortion. Witnesses stated that she had red marks on her neck, and Carr was taken into custody. Then in California, a 29-year-old woman was allegedly stabbed to death by her boyfriend so he could avoid paying child support. Garen Musser, 24, was arrested after police found the body of Lisa Marie Zazueta lying dead in the street. Investigations revealed that prior to the murder, Garen had read a text message from the victim stating that she was pregnant and would not have an abortion. Also in California, a man was taken into custody on suspicion that he caused the miscarriage of his unborn child. According to reports, the unidentified girlfriend of 37-year-old Joshua Woodward alleges that Woodward repeatedly put his fingers into a plastic bag filled with an unidentified substance and then touched her vaginal area. The victim lost the 13-week fetus a few hours later and called police. Police then set up a sting operation and arrested Woodward after finding him in possession of what they said was the abortion drug, misoprostol. A Texas TV station is reporting that the now bankrupt Planned Parenthood Center of El Paso owes more than $150,000 to the county's University Medical Center. Station KFOX found the information through an open records request. It is also reported that sources close to Planned Parenthood claim their total debt stands at more than $1 million. State officials told KFOX that it is not sure the money will ever be collected. Also in Texas, the Alliance Defense Fund has issued a letter to the Judge Advocate's Office urging it to charge the suspect in the Fort Hood massacre with the killing of all 14 victims, including the unborn child of Private Francesca Velez. Military prosecutors have charged Major Nadil Malik Hassan with 13 counts of premeditated murder, but have not charged him with the death of Velez's child. However, Army officials have indicated that additional charges are under consideration. Article 119A of the Uniform Code of Military Justice makes it a crime for anyone to cause the death of a child who is in utero at the time the conduct takes place. In a significant victory for pro-lifers, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 3rd Circuit Court has struck down 2 ordinances in Pittsburgh that would have prohibited pro-lifers from coming within 15 feet of entrances to abortion clinics and made them stand 8 feet from abortion clients. A pro-life nurse who was represented by the Alliance Defense Fund challenged the law, claiming it was an unconstitutional violation of free speech. The 3rd Circuit Court agreed, noting that the ordinance put a burden on free speech that was unprecedented and unconstitutionally onerous. And finally, a new study from Finland has found that 20% of women using the abortion pill RU46 suffer at least one significant complication. The study, which appeared in the October issue of Obstetrics and Gynecology, also found that nearly 4% of women reported 2 or more complications, or what the report called adverse events. I'm Alan Ackles for LifeTalk News. For daily updates, you can log on to prolifeamerica.com. Mark, back to you.
Thanks, Alan. Boy, lots of news.
Lots
Some
of news.
amazing.
That was long and excruciating, but good and bad.
You know, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but the media refuses to cover all this pro-choice violence that's going on out there. They refuse to even talk about it. But, you know, and we have to cover it here so people won't know about it if they don't learn them here.
I never heard any of that.
Right. It's unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, we got a lot of interesting things to talk about, and we're going to have a couple of guests later on talking about the health care situation.
So-called health care.
So-called health care debacle that's going on in D.C. But I want to give people an idea about what I think is going on here. Well, first off, and Troy, you and I have talked about this on the phone. If America is saved from the health care debacle, it will be because of the pro-lifers. Because if it were not for abortion, this thing would already be a done deal.
Right. In fact, if you could remove all the pro-lifers, or if abortion never existed, this so-called health care plan would have gone through in August without any opposition whatsoever.
It would just sail through.
It is the pro-life movement that is literally saving America from a socialist takeover.
Right, right. Cool. And it may only be temporary, but at least, you know, we're putting up a fight, and it's not that we deserve any kudos for it or anything. It's just a fact that without abortion, this thing would have already been done.
You know, even a CNN poll came out this week saying 61%. Now, this is a skewed CNN poll. Right. Even they said 61% of the American people are opposed to taxpayer-funded abortions, and I think 37% are in favor of it. So clearly, this defies the will of the American people.
Right, right.
But the representatives do not represent the people they are there for.
Oh no!
In fact, Mark, I am convinced this whole health care thing is there to make sure abortion is in America. I'm convinced of.
Johnny, didn't we talk about that last year on LifeTalk? We were talking about how the big coming battle would be abortion in healthcare. We talked about this way over a year ago.
Because of the price.
And yeah, the cost, and they're trying to get the cost of abortions up. But let me tell you something that I'm afraid of, a scam that's being run right now. Right now you have a group of people out there saying, oh, we've got to stop putting abortion in health care. Even some of them are Democrats, and the Obama administration is saying, don't worry, we're not going to be paying for abortion. This is not an abortion bill. This is a health care bill. Let me tell you what I think is going on behind the scenes. And we know this is how Washington, D.C. works. I think behind the scenes, as we're sitting at this table, lawyers for the Obama administration and for the United States Justice Department are sitting down with the pro-aborts and telling them, look, we've got to put out, we'll never get this health care bill passed if it pays for abortion. So we've got to write language into it that excludes abortion. That's the only way we can get it passed. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back out at the 12th hour or 11th hour and say, okay, we'll agree to that just so we can get it passed. Right. But here's what we're doing. We're going to write this language in such a way that the federal courts will throw it out. Mm-hmm. So don't worry about it. Right. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised that lawyers for the Obama administration and for the Justice Department are sitting down with lawyers from Planned Parenthood and from the ACLU and from all these other radical pro-abortion groups, and they're working out